Hot, hot, way too hot. In today's video, giving you a behind-the-scenes look at how I think and the way I set up a shot when it comes to today's shot, Action Forces Kill Switch versus G.I. Joe Classifieds Battle Android Troopers. Quick question before we get started. Are you a G.I. Joe Classified only person? An Action Force only person? Or, can you do both? Now, let's set up the shot. I'm already pretty happy with the pose that I put Kill Switch in before I even started shooting this video. And look, ma, no stands. I think this is even going to be her placement when it comes to the shot. Now, the way I'm setting up the shot is this. This is Kill Switch feeling like it's her last stand, going up against a lot of bats. She's going to give it her all. So I'm going to give it kind of a scary, more of sort of a horror setting, which means that I'm going to desaturate the shot in the camera. I'm going to get as much of this done in camera as I can. And I'm also going to make sure that she's on the side of the shot. She's running towards the right and on the right-hand side. That gives kind of psychologically a more scary look when it comes to the shot itself. You'll feel more uncomfortable looking at it. It'll be more apprehensive, and you won't know why, but it's psychology. Keep in mind that as I'm setting up this image, I'll be looking through the lens of my camera, stuff you won't exactly get to see as I'm doing it, just to make sure everything's fitting in frame. And now it's time to set up the first bat, and I want a bat that's going to be right in front of her, kind of foreground style a little bit. I'm going to try. He's not going to be, you're not going to see a lot of them. We're going with a Python Patrol bat here. She's just shooting right at him, and what you're going to see when the angle is all done, when the shot is all good to go, it's going to be more like this, where she's shooting more along those lines. That's more where she'll end up being in the shot. So there you go, first bat down. Obviously, once I look through the camera, there might be minor adjustments, but that's the general idea. Having a bat there in the foreground just to add a little more dimension and maybe a touch more danger. Next up, I want a bat that looks like it's coming up right behind her, like it's just about got her. It's just about there. And I've chosen this little guy here. He's got sort of a zombie pose that I put him in, sort of a zombie bat pose, which is fun for me, less fun for Kill Switch, I'm sure. And now it's just a matter of any other kind of posing where you're just playing with the ankles a little bit, seeing what you can do to get it to be just right. And with the extreme sets like these as well, this is the extreme sets Asylum Diorama, sometimes the cardboard kind of goes, it's a little higher in the middle and gets a little lower on the sides. And so then you have to just work with that a little more too. It's not so super smooth. So it's a little bit more that you have to deal with than you normally would. So instead of making you go through seeing how this guy's going to stand, I'm just going to set him up, and then I'll show you what we've got so far after I do that. So this is pretty much what we're looking at right now. There's Kill Switch fighting the foreground bat, and there's this bat coming up behind her, awfully close, almost got her. She's firing, but let's be honest, she's just running for her life. She has no idea if she's hitting them or not. And now what I'm going to do is use these last two bats to kind of fill in some dead space that I've got going on in the shot. So, I'm going to start that now. Now, looking through the viewfinder here, the first place that I notice some dead space is to the left of that bat. There's a lot of dead space going on here. So what I'm probably going to do is grab one of those two bats and use them sort of in the foreground. Not quite as far in the foreground as the Python Patrol bat is in, though. Ladies and gentlemen, this bat's not messing around. He's going to hold her. He's going to take her down. He's had enough of this. He is bored with this whole, hey, this person's like a G.I. Joe, but she's not. Maybe she could be. Whatever she is, she's got to go down. We got to take her down, boys. And so, I'm just making minor adjustments here to the pose. I want his leg up like that a bit. Little more urgency in this bat. For some reason, this bat knows a little more about what's up than the other bats. So it wants to move a little faster. It wants to get things done. It's sick of this. No, I'm over it. We got to take these people down. And then after that, they're going to become part of Skynet and nobody's going to make it. And I'm going to bump the camera because, yay fun? I don't know. But angle him just a little bit down, use all his joints, just because it's a little more fun that way. So what you'll probably see in the shot is he'll be more like this. What you're seeing right now as I'm setting him up and trying to point the gun at kill switch is more the back of him. And that's probably not how he's going to turn out when you see the final image, like I said, but maybe it'll work. Ooh, look at that. I might have already got him to stand. So what we're probably looking at here, there's kill switch. Oh no! Okay, I'm going to stand him up, then I'll show you how this is looking. Okay, we've got him set up. So there's kill switch with your extreme foreground Python Patrol bat. There's the bat coming right up on her. And here's this one that's still in the foreground. It's more in the foreground than kill switch, but it's not in the extreme foreground like this guy. And what it's doing is sort of balancing out the picture. Now, the last spot that I see that's really kind of dead space is kind of in the middle, between kill switch and between that bat in the back there. So I'm probably going to use that maybe a little more left of center just to see what kind of effect I get. So I'm going to start setting them up and you'll get to see it. Let's do this. Affiliate links in the description below. Consume. And now, here he is, folks, the fourth and final bat. Now, the one that was sneaking up right up on kill switch, he had to be moved just a little bit to the side because it was going to throw off the balance of the image if I tried fitting this guy in anywhere. I had almost broken it up into 4 even pieces, and that wasn't going to work. So he got moved over to the side a little bit. This guy, it's a pretty standard pose. Nothing too crazy. He's just standing there. He's a little twisted at the waist joint. And then he's got his flamethrower arm sticking straight out. So nothing too crazy with this one's pose. He's another one that's just done with it. He's over it. He wants to get this over with. He wants to take her down so he can go home and recharge or whatever bats do. So nothing too crazy with this pose. I do want to lower this arm a little bit because he is standing a little higher than kill switch, and there is a slight adjustment I have to make to the legs because he keeps trying to fall just a little bit forward, and that's not going to work. See that? Look at that. Not cool, bat. Not cool. And now, because of that, I'll move his head down just a touch so he's looking at her more like that. And I think we've got everything pretty well set up. So the way the image will look pretty close to what you'll see, is sort of like that. And I'll be looking through the lens now to see what I can find, to see if any adjustments need to be made, and then it'll be time for the lighting. There you have it as far as posing out the figures is concerned. Now, onto the lights. Alright, so here's the shot setup. Now as for the lighting, here it is. I've got this LED panel light going with a blue gel over it set pretty high because blue's scary. It's all nighttime and stuff. And then I have that white panel light LED shining from the back there, and I have that one set fairly low. I know it's kind of tough to tell here, but it's set fairly low so there's not tons of light that hit them. Remember, I want this to have kind of a horror, scary vibe. And then I've got this yellow gel over the LED panel light to simulate the yellow coming off of kill switch's gun there, off the blast, off the muzzle flash, if you will. So there it is, folks. That's the way the lighting is, and that's the way the figures are set up. For the foreground, I'm going to do something a little simple and a little different compared to something that I usually do. And what that is I'm going to take this piece, which came with the Asylum Diorama you see in the background, and I'm going to hold it right up to the lens on the camera. Now what that's going to do is create this real subtle blur that's going to be on the bottom edge of the shot. And it's just going to add a little bit more dimension, just a little bit more something else happening in the foreground, just to make the shot, at least to me, a little more interesting. So here we go. I'm about to take the shot. And there you have it, folks. The end result of everything that we just set up and shot straight out of the camera for your viewing pleasure. And now here it is, all edited with the blacks faded, the saturation lowered, and some effects you can find for free on the Toypixx Patreon, link in the video description. And now, dramatic voiceover. Believing this to be her final stand, Killswitch battles valiantly against the very battle android troopers programmed to destroy her. That's it. That's the video! But if you wait till the end, the playlist to all the other Toypixx tutorials will pop up. Thank you as always for taking the time out of your day to check out today's video. It is massively appreciated. So until next time, have fun and happy snapping. See ya. So many great army builders coming out of these two lines from Classified. I'm going to need all flavors of bats. I'm going to need a few night creepers. And then from Action Force, I gotta load up on the Urban Commando, the Praetorians, and I'm going to start picking up some Recon Corps because I know in the future they're going to come out with quite the loadout for that figure. Great googly moogly. This is where the fun begins.